I've got my Great Monster today instead of my Creo brew. Gotta wake up. I've been doing these late night photo editing sessions every night till about 1 a.m. and I am just exhausted. Dang, these are good. You know, they could make these without caffeine. They could make soda that people could drink that actually tasted good. Unlike brands I should probably not mention. Ones that have asked me to be representative for them. But I tasted it and it's just kind of like, so I didn't. Anyway, these taste really good. But who needs all this caffeine? Well, right now I do, but it would be nice if you could just have a soda that tasted good, that didn't have sugar in it, and that people made for the taste of soda. I don't know. Here I am complaining about products again. Food products, but products nonetheless. I gotta stop doing that. Oh, fantastic. All right, so everybody say hi so I can call you out for being firsties. Let's see who is here. Hello, Luz Diaz. Hello, Christina McMillan. Oh, I'm glad you got a notification. That's fantastic. Jules, Journey to Health. Good morning. Is it morning? I don't know. 11 a.m. It's still technically morning here. Tuffy Johnson. Hello. Hey, Teresa. Keto Fat Girl No More. She's my homegirl and she's here. Jules, Journey to Health. Oh, I said you twice because you said hi, even, and huh. Hey, you got double called out. That's awesome. Osborne, good morning. Diane Smith-Peters, hello. Lori Penny, hello. Laura Trent, good afternoon for you. Okay, awesome. And Brandy C, good to see everybody. That's great. Today I thought we would talk about weight loss plateaus, weight loss stalls, because it seems like I get that question a lot, and also people have been telling me that my slower weight loss is just kind of a weight loss plateau or something. And so I thought it would be good for us to talk about what exactly is a weight loss plateau, what exactly is a stall, and what are some strategies to overcome that and to move past it. So firstly, what is a weight loss stall? Me personally and my mentors that taught me what I know believe that a weight loss stall is 6 weeks of no progress. So that means 6 full weeks where there's no change on the scale, where there's no change with a measuring tape, and when there's no change with pictures or clothing fitting you. Basically, when you're really, really stuck. So what I'm going through right now is really not a stall per se, because I haven't actually stopped losing. I've just slowed down the rate that I'm losing. So I've gone from, well, at the very beginning, losing 15 to 20 pounds a month, down to, in the summer, last summer, I was losing about 10 to 12 a month. And then in the fall, it kind of dropped to 8 pounds a month, and it was staying at 8 pounds a month until the last couple of months where it's been 3 to 4 pounds a month, which, I mean, it's not bad weight loss. It's just a lot slower. And so I haven't really hit an actual plateau yet. I haven't hit anything where I felt like I really needed to tweak or adjust or something like that. But if you are going through that, so if you're doing keto and you've hit this place where you are stuck for 6 dang weeks and you are miserable, this chat is for you. So these are some strategies that I personally would use if I hit a stall. And I have kind of used them to knock myself around a bit, knock my metabolism around a bit. But really, if I were to hit a stall, I do have some backup plans. So the first thing, if you're hitting a stall, is that you need to double check and triple check your macros and your electrolytes. Make sure that your calories are at a deficit. If you're doing the higher fat version of keto, keep your calories lower. If you're doing the protein version that I am doing, double check your macros. Make sure you're really tracking. Make sure you're tracking every bite that you actually eat, that it's all going into the tracker, and that you're being honest with yourself. Because if you're eating little bites here and there and not tracking it, you're raising up your calorie level. And Thus, you're going to lose less fat. So double check your macros. Make sure that your macros are exactly what you need, that they are set for fat loss. If you are doing the higher fat version of keto, I highly recommend trying the higher protein, moderate fat version and see if that might kick you out of the stall. A lot of people that find me have been struggling on regular keto, and once they start the higher protein macros, they've had a lot more success. The reason being because you can bring your calories way down when you're doing the higher protein, because protein is less calorically dense than fat. It's also satiating because it makes you fuller. And so you're able to cut your calories a lot lower. And also you're consuming less dietary fat, which means that your body has to burn more fat from your own body in order to function. Because it has to have that certain amount of fat. It has to have that 75% of fat in order to run. And if it can't get it from your plate, it will get it from your body. Luckily, I have plenty. I have lots of reserve fat that my body can happily use, and hopefully we'll start using more quickly. So definitely check your macros. Definitely make sure you're tracking. That's number one. Number two, always check your electrolytes. Make sure if you're supplementing sodium, that you're hitting a minimum of 5,000 milligrams. And maybe if you are hitting 5,000, you might want to try going a little higher to see if that might help. If it's water retention, making sure your electrolytes are in check will help. So, if you're choosing to do potassium instead of sodium, same thing, just double check it and make sure you're hitting the numbers that you're supposed to be hitting. I don't personally recommend potassium supplementation just because it can be overdosed on. And so I suggest sodium because it basically does the same thing. Sodium and potassium work tandem, hand in hand, and you need one or the other in order to keep the other one maintained. So double check your electrolytes. If your electrolytes are great and you know you're eating at a caloric deficit and you know you're eating and you're tracking everything, here are some other things that you can try. So try lowering your fats even lower. Try lowering your fats if you're doing the higher protein. Try lowering them by 10 more grams. You can safely go down to 50 grams of fat per day and not really have any problems. Problems from low fat, especially because if you have plenty on your body will just get it. It's not a big stressor if you choose to eat really low fat. The problem with it is that you really do need enough fat for brain and hormone health and just kind of keep things moving quickly and have a lot of easy access fat that your body can, handle and get a hold of real quick. So sometimes you might get a little bit more cranky. You'll know if you've gone too low in fat because you can get pretty cranky. So yeah, don't go below 50 unless you're doing like say PSMF, which if you want to check out the PSMF Facebook group, there's a group there and you have to buy the book in order to do it. I don't know anything about it, but I know that they do super low fat and higher protein than what I do. So unless you're going to do something drastic like that, I would keep your fats at 50 or above. But you can go down to 50. So you can try doing that. So I suggest going down for 6 days. So bringing your calories down by lowering your fats for 6 days. And then hitting a higher fat day where your macros are in maintenance calories. So you raise your fats. When I do it, I personally just raise my fats up equal with my protein. So my protein is 120. And so on a maintenance day, I raise my fats up to 120. So you would do 6 days of low and 1 day of high. Sometimes just doing a day of high, if you've been doing low, will kind of shake things back up, shake things back into gear. I don't recommend carb refeeds or carbo loads. Yes, they can trigger your weight loss to start again. It can happen. But if you do that, you risk a slippery slope. So you risk also having to burn through that glycogen again and feel crappy again and be hungry again and have your body beg you for sugar again and fight the carb monster, the carb toddler, whatever you want to call it. You got to fight that again. I don't want to fight that fight. So I'm not willing to do that. People do it, but it's not something that I can do. I am not strong enough to do that. And I don't want to mess with a good thing. All right, and another thing that you can try is, you know what? I don't know that I would suggest doing anything crazy like fasting for extended periods. If you haven't already started intermittent fasting and you're at a plateau, definitely try intermittent fasting. I wouldn't totally go to OMAD, but maybe doing like a 1 meal a day a week kind of thing might help. Just anything that just kind of throws your body for a loop. If you've tried all of that and none of it is working, then I recommend measuring yourself and going to the Navy body fat calculator, figuring out your actual or really close body fat percentage, and then going to ketogains.com and using their macro calculator using that specific fat number. Better yet, getting a DEXA scan or a BOD pod to get your actual body fat percentage and use the macros that the Ketogains calculator will give you. So that's my last resort. If you played with it and you just can't get anywhere with it, then try doing it that way. So those are my tips. Now I'm open for questions. If anybody has questions about what we're talking about here, or any questions at all about keto or about my life, or I don't know, what do you want to know? If it's appropriate, I will answer it. All right, I'm going to see if anyone has asked any questions while I was talking. Whoa, Jules, you had your gallbladder removed? Oh, bummer. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have had to have their gallbladder removed, and the higher protein, lower fat version of keto that I do does seem to do great for people with no gallbladder. Though I do know people doing the higher fat version that do fine. I know that Amy Mystique just got hers taken out. Her channel is Ketolicious Life, and she just talked about that recently if you want to check out her experience. I know she does the higher fat version of keto, so she may have some insights for you. But yeah, if you haven't already headed over to the Facebook page to get your macros from the higher protein version, definitely check that out. The link is in almost every about section of my videos, and hopefully will be at some point on this one. I haven't quite figured out how to put the info in. I think you can put the info in, but I'm usually so fast to try and get on that I don't put any info until later. But I do try to get it in later, so definitely check out those macros. Okay, so Tiffany Micah asks, so she's using Soleil water and she's gotten used to it, and she's starting an eighth of a teaspoon of no salt for potassium this week, and do I think it's okay? Sure, yeah. I have no problem with supplementing potassium salts, taking an occasional Zip Fizz for potassium hit. You can even supplement with potassium citrate. The thing is that potassium can be something that you can overdose on if you get extreme amounts. The body really does need a large amount, but if you keep your sodium high enough, it doesn't need as high of an amount of supplementation. So if you go to some other places like Dr. Berg and Optimal Ketogenic Living, they recommend like 4,700 milligrams of potassium and salt your food. So they do the opposite of what I do. The reason I do the higher sodium is because that's what Dr. Finney recommends, and pretty much everything that I teach or do is based on what he teaches. It's not exactly the same, but it is based on his science. And he recommends salt supplementation because it's a little bit safer. When you keep your sodium up, your potassium will stick with you. So taking that eighth of a teaspoon of potassium, it'll stick with you. It's just like putting it in your food. It's not an overly large amount of potassium, so I wouldn't personally worry about it. I don't really supplement potassium unless I get muscle cramps and I know that I've dropped my sodium and my potassium has flooded out of me. If I'm starting to feel keto flu symptoms, then I will take a shot of Zip Fizz or get some light salt. And every day I do put light salt on my eggs just because it's an easy way to get a little bit of extra potassium in. I don't really track that. I just add it on top of whatever I eat for food. So potassium is fine to supplement. Just, don't go overboard. You don't need really a lot of it. If you're doing the Soleil water and you're getting 5,000 milligrams, you really only need 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium. So and that should be through food. You don't really need a huge ton of it. Though potassium is what your body needs. ironically. The point of supplementing the sodium is to keep the potassium in you, because for some reason, when your body gets low on sodium, it flushes the potassium in order to preserve the sodium. It makes no sense to me, but that's how it works. So if you do high levels of potassium, you don't need as high of level of sodium, and vice versa. It's kind of like a happy balance. Dr. Finney talked about that in his latest live chat. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Virta Health on Facebook so that you know when he goes live, I definitely recommend it. Everything that they talk about on their live chats is 100% backed by science. They won't even give you an answer, even anecdotal, if they don't have the science to back it. So they're a great place to ask your burning keto questions. So if anyone asks me something that I don't know, I watch for a live chat so I can ask Dr. Finney or one of his scientists directly. So definitely like the Virta Health Facebook page and watch for their live chats, because some of it goes over my head, but it's very, very beneficial for me to solidify that what I'm doing is backed by science. So what I'm teaching you guys is all anecdotal. I have no science degree, not a nutritionist, not a doctor. So I really don't have any authority to talk to you guys at all, other than you guys want to know what I'm doing, and so I'm telling you. But what I'm doing is all based on Dr. Finney, Virta Health. And he has lots of blog articles as well. So if you go to virtahealth.com, that's VIRTA, Virta. They have a blog there that talks about the sodium. It talks about the protein recommendations that I'm giving. It talks about the fats, using them as a lever, keeping them low during fat loss and raising them up during maintenance. Is this a long-term, lifetime diet way of eating? Yep. And if you haven't wrapped your brain around that, you really need to work on that, because this isn't a lose weight, get really thin, and go back to the way I ate kind of deal. It's kind of all or nothing. Your body will get used to burning fat, but the second you put carbs back in your body, especially if you were insulin resistant to begin with, you will start packing on the pounds. I know this from experience, because I lost 110 pounds doing a similar ketogenic diet that was with shakes, and gained back 150 when I went back on carbs. That is never happening to me again. So for me, this is a lifetime kind of deal. And it's probably should be a lifetime kind of deal for whoever is following me, because if you're following me, it's probably because you have really serious issues with weight. And if you have serious issues with weight, you probably are insulin resistant, or worse, maybe pre-diabetic, maybe actually diabetic. If you're any of these things, you need to consider yourself allergic to carbs, intolerant to carbs, unable to eat them, and tell people such, that it is a medical condition, that your body cannot process them. And once you can accept that, you can accept that this is the way of life that is comfortable, and it's much more relaxing and easy to do than eating carbs anyway. Like, food doesn't control me anymore. And that's the beauty of it. People don't get that who are carb eaters, because they are controlled by food, and they don't understand being able to just not eat. If I don't feel like eating, I don't really have to. But I do make sure that I get my protein in every day, even if I don't feel like eating. So it's like a double-edged sword. Sometimes you don't feel like eating, but you still need to, and you have to force yourself to when you don't want to, which is kind of a pain. All right. Oh yeah, you were trying to relieve muscle aches with that potassium. Yep, that's exactly right. That's great. Oh, I'm sorry, Santa Fe. I'm so sorry. Tiffany, that's rough. Yeah, we've been praying. I just don't get what's going on with the school shootings. I don't know if I want to talk about it too much, but I'm definitely grateful that my kids are homeschooled right now, because it's a scary world out there right now. Crazy. All right, does anybody else have any questions? We can make this a super short video today if you want. We don't have to talk all day. And today, I don't have to leave, so like I got no reason to leave other than I'm, haven't eaten anything yet today. I should probably eat. Maybe. Drink some more of my Monster. The problem with me on Monster, motor mouth. Can't stop talking usually when I'm drinking a Monster. All right. Well, what else can we talk about then? Let's see. Oh, hey, someone asked a question. All right, great. Skyn T asks, you are doing higher protein, moderate fat, correct? Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. My personal macros based on my height are 120 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, and 20 carbs. Have I been sticking to that recently? No. I've been way overeating my macros. I've been going out to eat a lot. I've been eating probably, I'm guessing 120 to 150 protein and at least 90 to 120 grams of fat pretty much every day. So that's actually why my loss has slowed down. Everybody's giving me lovely ideas on what's wrong, why it's not working. I know exactly why it's not working. I'm not tracking well and I'm going out to eat all the time. So yeah. The more fat you eat, I hate to break it to you, the more fat you eat, the less fat you burn from your body. Even, I don't know. I mean, if you're keeping it at a deficit, the problem with that, with the higher fat version, is that your protein ends up being too low to maintain your muscle, and you might lose muscle in addition to the fat. But, that's just what Dr. Finney says. I don't know what the science behind that is. I just know that's what he says. So that's what I am doing. If you want your own personal macros and you don't want to join my Facebook group, I highly recommend joining my Facebook group, though, because we're awesome and we can help you and answer questions whenever they come up instead of you having to wait for live chat. I have a macros chart. It only goes up to 6'1", though, and I have a couple of 6'2" ladies that have come by. We need to add their macros to that. Some taller women. But we have a macros chart that you can get right in the pinned post under announcements on the Facebook group. But if you don't want to join the Facebook group, you can always send me an email. My email address is just ketochaos@gmail.com. Ask me for the macros chart and I will happily send it to you, and you can share it with whomever. We don't have any kind of copyright on the macros. They're just to share. All right. Oh, Jules says she should probably take her meds and nap, but she hates sleeping during the day. Dude, if I just had surgery, I'd be sleeping. I want to be sleeping right now. Are you kidding me? I am so tired. And I would love to just have a day where I could lay and sleep all day. But alas, that is not in the cards for me just yet. After June 2nd, maybe I will take a crash day. The Tuesday following June 2nd, I'll be like this. My eyes will have black spots in it, and I'll be like, oh, I just woke up. Maybe. We'll see. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, Skyn T wants to know if I've noticed any difference in satiety going to higher protein from higher fat. I've heard that fat is what will fill you up. Okay, well, I can't speak to the higher fat because I haven't really done the higher fat, lower protein version of keto. When you are doing it, though, keeping your fats higher is what is going to keep you satiated. Hey, I can't talk right now. What do you need? You want cereal? Can you go ask Ollie? Okay, I will just be a few more minutes and I'll get you some cereal, okay? Love you. Sorry, 2-year-olds, they don't get it. What was I talking about? Satiety. Okay, so yes, fat will satiate you, but protein also will. Protein will satiate you and not raise your caloric number as much. So basically, if you're eating higher protein, you can lower your fats fairly low and burn more of your body fat without feeling starving all the time. If you're doing that and you're feeling starving all the time, it's probably your electrolytes. If you're doing regular keto and you're starving all the time, it's probably your electrolytes. Keto in and of itself is just a satiating kind of way of eating. You just feel satisfied when you eat and you don't feel craving to eat between because your body will switch evenly and smoothly from burning dietary fat to burning body fat. And so it doesn't beg you for food. That's why we don't get hungry as much. That's why we feel full and we feel satisfied. It's fantastic. But yeah, so honestly, I think you're not going to find much of a difference from switching other than you're going to be able to keep your calories even lower and still feel satisfied. But, you can't know until you try it. And if you want to try it and let me know if there's a difference, I'd love to know. I'd love to know if it helps. I mean, I know that if I'm feeling extra hungry, especially if it's like my cycle or whatever, that if I add higher fats, it will definitely help. But I have to have my protein every day. I just can't not eat it. I feel like I overeat it. I probably overeat it too much, and I need to stop overeating it. I need to hit my macros at 120 and just keep it there. And soon as I'm done with all of my dance chaos, that is what I am doing. So we'll see what happens in June. All summer, I am going to be back to tracking. Oh, yeah, Kendall. Hey, Kendall Daniels, one of my moderators on my group. She's fantastic. She says it's not that it's not working, it's just slowed down. Yeah, it's still working. Obviously, I'm still burning fat from my body. I'm still eating at somewhat of a deficit. I'm just not eating as much of a deficit, and so my body is burning less fat from my body. No big deal. And I'm not worried about that. I'm staying in ketosis. I'm staying keto, and that's my main goal. If I have to eat extra food in order to survive, and if I have to eat out because I'm out, then I'm just going to stay keto. That's my goal for this whole spring crazy dance competition pictures. I mean, you guys have no idea. People in my real life constantly ask me, how do you do everything that you do? And I honestly don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like running like the Energizer Bunny. And when I crash, like in June, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself. Yeah, it'll be weird. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love being busy. I love seeing people. I love watching my kids dance. I love doing dance photography. I love all of it. It's just, it all comes at once and doesn't really spread out through the year because dance comp season is now. And it's not in the fall. So that's the way it is. All right. Eve, servant of God, I love your name. I'm glad that you're here. Tell me about yourself. Are you doing keto? Do you have any questions? Stuff like that? Yeah. What is the Facebook page? It's facebook.com/groups/keto chaos. That is the Facebook page. That's the actual URL to get there. If you just search Keto Chaos, be careful because there are two. One of them is my page and one of them is the group. Make sure you join the group. Request to join the group. You'll know it's the group if you just didn't like it, if you had to answer questions to get in. The questions are, will you be respectful and have respectful language? And will you not sell things? We don't want people selling things to us. Those are the two questions you have to answer to get into the group. And that's just so that I can know that you're not a bot and that you're actually paying attention and that you're willing to be nice and know that you'll get kicked out if you sell things or you're not nice. Yes. Do I know what's in GI? I don't know what GI is referencing. So it says, so Mio has sucralose. Do you know what's in the GI? I'm trying to think of what the GI is. So tell me what GI stands for. I'm not sure, but I might know if I know what GI is. I'll probably laugh when you say it because I'll be like, oh, right. All right. Jules, it's hard to tell on your profile. Well, sorry, man. Didn't mean to get it wrong. Jules is a gender neutral name. I will try really hard to remember that. Okay. Sharon Merrill asks, how do I feed the rest of my family not doing keto? It's pretty easy. I mean, we have so many kids and I have a lot of kids with food allergies. Pretty much always we've had to make more than one meal. Usually we make the kids' meal in the Instant Pot because we have a huge one and we just kind of chuck everything in there. Or we just make rice in there and then do like a gravy of some kind on the stove. Or we do noodles and pasta sauce on the stove. And then we just take a pan and grill up meat and veggies for whomever is keto. At the moment, my husband, me, and my almost 16, who will be 16 on Sunday, year-old son are all three keto. And then the rest are all carb eaters, though some are allergic to milk and tomatoes, which is a pain. So we often have to make more than one meal. All of our meals are kind of like compartmentalized. They usually don't go all together unless we're making like chicken and rice in the Instant Pot or stew in the Instant Pot, then it all goes together. But for the most part, we just do a lot of pans and everyone just kind of serves themselves. We don't really like eat around the table. We used to, but it's been a while. Everyone just comes up, serves themselves, and just eats. That's why you'll often see on my videos that I'm like eating in my room on my bed because it's comfy and often I'm eating later than everyone else. A lot of times Chef Dave makes everybody else food before I get home. So, yeah, our lives are weird and crazy, but oh, that is a fun question. Laura Trent asks, dumb question, maybe. Have you noticed a difference in how your glasses are fitting? I feel like mine keep sliding down my nose. I don't know. Those stupid things are always crooked. Do you see this? Not really, because I'm always adjusting them. My glasses, I bought them. I spent like freaking $650 on these stupid glasses. So they're supposed to be awesome, right? Because they're supposed to be adjustable. But the fact that they're adjustable is what makes them a pain in the butt. Because every time I lay down on them or something, they like bend and go some other wacky direction. So I'm always adjusting them. And now you've got me all looking at them and I'm just going to be like annoyed by the fact that they are crooked. They're always crooked. Go back and watch my videos. They're like always crooked. Okay, not always. Sometimes I can get them to go straight, but it's pretty rare. And I think it's because they're adjustable. I wish I would have just gotten the cheapo plastic ones from Zenny Optical because those ones never freaking did this to me. But I bet you I would notice the way they fit. I would be different because they do have a width. And I bet that they would eventually start sliding. Maybe if I do this. Not really. No. Just crooked. Lame. But yeah, I went and got fancy glasses and regretting it. And yes, I adjust them all the time. So I'm not sure if it's from losing weight or if it's just from laying on them funny. But I'm always adjusting them and being annoyed with them. So yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it in regards to weight loss. I bought these last year. So yeah, I don't know. Right around when I started YouTube is when I bought these. I don't know if I had them in the first video. No, I did. I bought them in June and I started my videos in August. So I've always had these. What will I do when I get different glasses? You guys will be like, whoa, glasses. Oh yeah, my 2-year-old. Gotta love him. He's probably starving. There's all those kids down there. And do you think they're actually like serving him cereal by now? No. I should have yelled at them before I came in here. Should have known they hadn't fed him breakfast. We all slept in. Nobody got up till 10. And I was up here doing homeschool with my younger ones. Well, my middle ones. My older than 2-year-old ones. All right. But they call me Shay. She says the GI has 0. But I don't know what GI is. You got to tell me. I need to know. All right. Osborne asks, is dry skin common? I heard about keto rash, but skin on my face and arms and stomach is extremely dry. Yes, it is a thing. It is an actual thing. And the reason why is because keto is diuretic. You're flushing your water, and so you will get drier skin. And you know what's weird? Is that when I go through my water retention and water whooshing fluctuations in my weight loss. So you'll notice this week I'm going to put on some freaking water. Already put 2 pounds on since yesterday. It's annoying. When I put the water on, those weeks, those are the weeks that I do not have any dry skin. I feel fine. And what's funny is I don't look like, my skin doesn't look as wrinkly, like it doesn't look as saggy. It kind of fills up. And then the other 2 weeks, I'm dry. And I'm just constantly putting on lotion. I don't know that there's much you can do about it because, I mean, you want the water to be off of you. And if you drink more water, then you need more electrolytes. And it's just kind of like a vicious cycle. But yeah, invest in some good body lotion because, yes, you can definitely get dry. I tend to be dry anyway, and I live in Utah, and it's extremely dry here. My wrinkles have gotten worse, for sure. My wrinkles have gotten worse. Of course, I've lost a lot of weight. And that's probably part of it. because there's nothing filling it out. But through my T-zone right here, I am so dry all the time. I'm always got dry things on my nose. It annoys me. But I've pretty much always been that way. And keto just seems to make it a little bit worse. Living in Utah probably doesn't help. The deficit. Okay, so what is a deficit? A deficit is making sure that you eat fewer calories than your body will burn at resting. So if you have like an app, I use a chronometer app on my phone to like track all my food. And my Fitness Pal is the same way. And I bet you all of the tracking apps have it, where they tell you based on your height and weight, what your basal body rate is, what you burn just sitting here doing nothing. And if you eat fewer calories than you are burning doing nothing, then that's eating calories at a deficit. So that's what I mean when I'm saying deficit. So I keep my calories, well, on a good day when I am doing what I'm supposed to do, my calories are 1,266 only. So under 1,300 calories a day, which sounds ridiculously low. And to a carbohydrate eater, that is impossible. I have tried to do that before and it's impossible. So miserable. But it is so easy on keto. I'll have my bacon and eggs and my yogurt in the morning and my cheese. And then I have 5 to 8 ounces, depending on the type of meat and depending on what cheese I'm eating with it, for dinner. Done. Like, I don't feel hungry between those meals, and it fills up. It's a lot of meat. And it's at 1,300 calories. I mean, who doesn't love that? That makes it easy. Oh my goodness, good question. Laura Trent asks, how many people in your personal life have started keto since seeing your progress? Many. So let's see. The very first one was my very good friend Ginger, who started only 3 months after I did. She wanted to start right away with me, but couldn't wrap her brain around it. And after seeing my results, because like the first 3 months, I think I lost 50 pounds. Like, it was crazy. I lost 19, 15, 15. So yeah, 50 pounds, 49 in 3 months. So she was like, okay, I gotta do this. She was a lot heavier than me and shorter than me. So her health was rapidly declining, and she decided she was going to do it. So she was my first official Padawan, my first official coach type person. And I was just learning myself, but it was so helpful to me to teach her. She has since lost 100 pounds. It's been her year mark recently, and she lost 100 pounds, and she's still ketoing on. She's doing great. I tried convincing several friends that it was the thing to do, and they weren't interested in joining me at first. My sister, she hopped on the bandwagon last summer in about August because we were getting ready to go to Disneyland together, and she saw a picture of herself the last time she went to Disneyland and realized she had gained a lot of weight and that there was going to be a lot of photos. And so she decided she was going to try it just to see if it would work and just to get some weight off before Disneyland. Well, she has not stopped. She is the freaking keto poster child. She has been perfect with her macros. She has struggled with wanting carbs, especially recently, but she has done so well. She's lost 80 pounds, and she was only just a little bigger than I am now when she started. So I think she was like a size 18 when she started, and she told me that she is now in a size 10 and probably could squeeze into a size 8 jeans. You would like freak if you saw her in real life. I wish we had done a better like before and after comparison. She has a few, but they just don't really show you like in real life. And she's also my like one that I look out because we have similar body shapes. I look at her and go, oh, I'm going to look like that when I get to this weight. I'm going to look like that when I get to this weight. So it's kind of motivating for me. She started. I know my mom kind of does it here and there, though I don't know if she's 100% on board. Of course, Dave, he started with me, my husband. He started with me on day 1. He's now doing more lazy keto, not really tracking, and really hasn't lost much on the term of the scale since he lost his first 100 pounds, but definitely his clothes are fitting better. So he's pretty happy with where he's at right now, and he's too overwhelmed to do anything else but lazy keto, so I let him do it, and he does it, and it's okay. Let's see, who else in real life? Not at Thanksgiving. No. At Easter, my brother and his fiance told me that they have started keto because they're getting married in September and they want to look awesome for the wedding. So I don't know how they're doing, but they're on my Facebook group and they're doing really great. It seems like they're doing great. I'm not sure because I haven't really asked them how things are going. Who else? Oh, and my really good friend Kimia. So last year I tried to convince her, but she finally jumped on board. I think it's been 4 months, and she sent me her before and afters last night, and I was floored. I think she's lost 50 pounds or close to 50 pounds, and she looks so much different. And she is catching up to me. So I think she weighed in at 216, and she's been losing faster than me, so I think she's going to catch up and pass me, which is awesome. I convinced her to join my clogging team too, so she's going to be clogging in the video with me next week at the recital. Oh my gosh. Freaking out a little bit. Freaking out. Today's our last practice before dress rehearsal next week and the big recital on Thursday. Oh my gosh. I will probably post the recital video like on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, find me Keto Chaos on Instagram in case you want to see that sooner than my YouTube video. Because I will be YouTubing it. It'll just take me a while to edit it and get it done. So I probably will put it on Instagram. Maybe. We'll see. But that's all I can think of right now. I don't know. There's probably more. I mean, there's lots more online. Like my Facebook friends, I have so many. Oh, and my sister-in-law, Amy, she lives in Oregon, and she's been doing vegan keto since I started this. She started a few months ago, I think, or last month. I can't remember exactly. So yeah, I guess I've influenced a lot of people in real life and on Facebook to try it. So, and everyone that's tried it, that's doing it the way I'm doing it, has been successful. Everyone. So only ones that just didn't last, that kind of fell back off the wagon, they're the only ones that are not super successful. All right. Hey, Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. It's good to have you here. It's always fun when one of my keto idols is joining the chat. I remember when I first started YouTube, I would like comment on every single one of Sarah's videos like, see me, Sarah. Come to my channel. And I remember the day that Sarah subscribed to my channel, I was like running around the house screaming, oh my gosh, Sarah subscribed to my channel. Yeah. So she's one of my keto idols. She's very down to earth and she's very secure in her keto maintenance plan. And she does a lot better at me. She doesn't do any sweeteners or any, froofy keto-fied things. And me, I do that sometimes, but she keeps me in check and I love watching, and she has a video every single day. So there's always something new to learn from Sarah. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Tammy, you're in Wonderland. Tammy Clevenger is officially in Wonderland. I'm so excited for you. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine being there. I just cannot even imagine. Yeah. Okay, let's see. You guys are all doing the GIs. Gastrointestinal glycemic index. Oh, that's probably what she meant is glycemic index. She probably meant, what's the glycemic index of sucralose? I bet that's what she meant. Yeah, I think it is 0. Erythritol is 1. And I think sucralose and aspartame are 0. What food do I feed my children? I think I talked about that, but mostly rice and gravy, like hamburger gravy that we make ourselves because no one can have Campbell's soup. Spaghetti, chicken legs and vegetables. Gosh, I don't know. Ask Chef Dave. He makes all the food. He makes Indian rice and chicken that they really like. He makes this honey chicken that they like. I don't know. A lot of rice because we have a lot of people to feed, and if they all went keto, I'd probably lose my mind with the bill but I don't know, maybe not though, because maybe they wouldn't need as much food. But you would have to, if you were going to get your kids to go keto, they would have to be on board. And in order for them to be satiated and not overeat and not, eat you out of house and home, they would have to be willing to give up all carbs. And they're not going to. They're kids. They're going to eat them when you're not looking. So I don't know that it would save me any money if I just trying to do more meat meals. But I mean, we definitely do chicken legs a lot. Just bake a ton of them in the oven. And that's one of their favorite things. In fact, they had that last night or the night before. We do a lot of big roasts. So we'll go down to like the Cash and Carry, which is the restaurant supply store that is open to the public. But you could do that at Costco or Sam's or anything like that and just buy a giant roast. And sometimes he'll do a giant roast for the family and we all share it. And then he does another one that we cut up into lunch meats so that we know it doesn't have carbs, because a lot of the roast beef lunch meats have caramel coloring and carbs in them. So we do that a lot. Gosh, I don't know what else. Pork roasts in the crock pot or in the Instant Pot. My husband loves to smoke things, so he'll do smoked turkeys, smoked pork shoulders. I don't know. That's pretty much it. We're kind of boring. But it's mostly real food. We don't do a lot of like packagey type things. It was the glucose index. I'm glad you found it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant. Yeah. All right. Okay, so yes. So an electrolyte question. Constipation. So if you are having issues on keto with constipation, you need to raise up your sodium and your magnesium. Both of those will help you. I keep my magnesium. I do 450 milligrams of magnesium a day, but you need at least 300. I usually say like 300 to 700. I have a friend who needs 700 in order to be regular. If you're keeping your sodium high enough, it will also help. And you'll notice if you take too much sodium, it will flush you out. So if you're really having an issue and you want to take the crazy road out, you can take a lot of Soleil water at once and you'll be in the bathroom all day, but like you'll probably puke too. So be careful with that. But yeah, make sure you're getting your electrolytes every day. That is what keeps you regular. That's what keeps the water level regulated in your body. That's what keeps everything running and keeps your muscles doing what they're supposed to do. If you don't have your electrolytes because your body is flushing them out due to keto, you're going to be in a world of hurt, literally. You're going to have cramping muscles and you're going to have constipation issues and you're going to feel weak and tired and foggy headed. Your brain won't work as well. You won't be able to speak as well. Like you'll find yourself searching for words a lot. That's my number one sign that I am starting into keto flu symptoms, is if I'm speaking and I can't think of a word and I start to feel like, I have dementia or something, then I'm like, oh my gosh, when was the last time I had Soleil water? So sometimes older people, when they tell me that they're on a low sodium diet and also can't remember anything or can't think of words, I'm always like, maybe the two might have a link. I don't know. Those older people, they're so afraid of their salt. So afraid. All right. Let's see. Keto Cricket is cutting out her Diet Dr. Pepper. Ooh, good luck. Oh my gosh. And she wants to use Soleil water to supplement the sodium that she was normally getting from her soda. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see. I don't know if you can get enough. How much sodium is in a soda? Okay, I have to know now. I don't think I've ever looked. 190 milligrams in this can. You need 5,000 milligrams of sodium. If you're not supplementing high levels of potassium, you need 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So I don't know that you could drink enough soda to make a difference, really. I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, be careful on your Soleil water. Spread it out. Don't take it on an empty stomach. Chase it with water if you're not mixing it with water already. And don't take more than a tablespoon at a time at first. I mean, even a teaspoon might actually burn and make you feel like you want to throw up at first. It is pretty intense at first, but you do get used to it. The reason I use Soleil water to supplement my sodium is because it is fast and it's trackable. I used to eat just plain salt, but I was like licking salt out of my hand all day, and I felt like it was so slow and inconvenient. I did try mixing salt with water, but I'd always end up with sediment in the bottom of my bottle, and I didn't know if I should drink that or not. I hated it. Soleil water keeps the sediment separated from the water, and the water itself is trackable because chemistry. There's only about 1,400 milligrams in a tablespoon of Soleil water if it's been made correctly and it's been saturated effectively and it's clear. So I know when I take it, I know what I'm getting when I'm taking it. So it's just fast. I just down it and then drink something and call it good. So yeah, if you have been on so I know you're doing, because you have a channel, I know you're doing keto. If you have not been supplementing the large amount of sodium and you're going right into doing the 5,000, you probably will retain water for at least 3 to 4 days, maybe to a week. Don't panic if you all of a sudden retain water. That's the body's reaction to having been low on sodium for a very long time and then receiving a big amount of it. It goes, oh, sodium, we need that. Let's keep it. And it will make you retain water until it's sure you're going to keep supplying the sodium. And then your body will go, okay, we can relax, and it will release the water and go back to normal. So I will warn you, if you're going to start Soleil water and you haven't done it in the past, you've been doing keto for a while, you may have that reaction. If you start the Soleil water from day one, you will not have that problem. I started from day one and I never really got water retention from Soleil. I have water retention based on my cycle, apparently, 4-week cycle. It's right after my cycle, my womanly cycle ends. The day it ends, till I ovulate, I pack on the water, and then the week after that and during my cycle, I put it off. I'm like opposite of what everybody else seems to say on YouTube. But that's what happens to me. So it's anywhere from 5 to 6 pounds to like I've had up to 8, 10 pounds, but it's often about 5 pounds. And then I usually lose more than that when I lose it. So I usually lose 5 to 8 pounds and then another 3 to 4. That hasn't happened the last 2 months. I've only lost the water plus 3 or 3.5, something like that, the last 2 months. But that's okay. I still look different. Yeah. Hello, Christianity. I love Jesus from Germany. Welcome. I'm glad that you guys are all here. Wait a minute. You thought I tilted my head and that's why my glasses were crooked? No, I tilt my head to make them straight. I don't know why I tilt my head. I'm leaning. But yeah, I am kind of tilting my head. They look straight now. Now crooked. Can't see. Okay. Forget the glasses. Welcome from Italy, Danielle Consoli. Or Daniel Consoli. That looks a guy. Like G.I. Joe, Keto Steve. You are always funny. Okay, Melissa Lewis is doing a 48-hour fast for her first try and trying to break it tonight or keep going. Personally, I say don't do extended fasting. I know on Optimal Ketogenic Living, they have this big, huge thing about fasting. But what I know is from Dr. Finney's mouth, okay? Dr. Finney says extended fasting does have some benefit, but the risks outweigh the benefits. The risks of extended fasting, of damaging your metabolism, outweigh the benefits of autophagy, of rebuilding your muscle, your body cells. So he doesn't recommend fasting more than 16 hours, 24 at most. So I wouldn't. I'd break the fast and like get into keto and go for it. A fast when you're going into keto can help you get into ketosis faster, but really it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change much. So you'll get into ketosis in 2 days instead of 3. It's not much different. I don't know. All right. Yes, and Myrna de la O, she says she has 6 kids, so she gets it. Yeah, I have 9. 2 of them are adults and still live with me because, millennials. Even my brother asked my 22-year-old to move out with him for a few months to get in preparation for his wedding. And my son said, moving twice in 6 months doesn't appeal to me. Just like that. You know who it appeals to? Yeah. I digress. Let's see. Teresa, if you're holding water and it's not showing on the scale, that's even better because that means you've burned some fat. And when that water falls off you, the scale's going to go down. Let's hope. I get so tired of the scale. Oh, scale is annoying. It never does what I want it to do. It was supposed to be in the 2 O's this last week. It was not. I'm mad at the scale right now. It's annoying. Oh well, it is what it is. All right. Have a good nap, Jules. I hope you feel better. And I hope if you're seeing this later, since you're probably already gone, that you recover quickly from your surgery and that everything goes well and that you're able to keto on. Oh my gosh. Just Keto Jen says her best friend started keto in June and she's lost over 80 pounds and she went from a size 24 to a 6. Oh, can't even imagine. Like when my sister told me she like put on a pair of size 10 pants and could maybe fit an 8, but she's too afraid to try it on because she just couldn't even go there in her head. I get that. I cannot even imagine anything smaller than a 16. 16 is like small to me, and that's what I am right now. So that's why it feels weird. Like I'm kind of uncomfortable at the thought of even like getting to that place. Like, oh, and all the comments. I mean, I'm sure that people are going to be like, you're too skinny now. You don't look as good. You look unhealthy. You look anorexic. And I'll be like, winning! When I get those comments, I'll be like, well, I wanted to see how the other half lives. I've been fat my whole life. Just because you're used to seeing me like that doesn't mean I won't look good as a size 6, right? Dang, I want to be a size 6. My daughter, she has a 27-inch waist. And she wears anywhere from a 0 to 4, depending on the brand. And hot dang it, I'd love to be able to wear what she wears. That would be weird. I don't know. That's probably too small for me. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's see. She is Kingdom says she searched high and low for keto program that would work for her. She started studying in my Facebook group, and she thinks it's going to work. Cool. And she wants to know if I take over-the-counter magnesium. Yes, I do. I only recommend 2 types of magnesium. The 2 types I recommend are glycinate and malate. Glycinate if you need help with sleep or relaxing or your muscles cramping, that kind of thing. And malate if you need energy because it will energize you. I used to recommend citrate for bowel issues, but I don't anymore because malate and glycinate seem to do just as well. And I have recently read some studies on citrates talking about things that they disrupt. I don't remember exactly what those things are. I am not the magnesium knowledge guru, but I have added citrate to my list of do nots when it comes to magnesium. So I do not recommend oxide because it's only 4% absorbable and it's what everyone sells. So if you bought it at Walmart, you're probably using the wrong kind. And I don't recommend citrate because it interrupts something. I can't remember, something in the cells, or I can't remember. But I've always taken glycinate, and it does really great for me. If you're having trouble with sleep, it's the best one to take. I used to take Doctor's Best brand, and now I take Zhou, Z-H-O-U. But lately, Zhou has been sold out on Amazon. So, I don't know. I like the Zhou better than Doctor's Best because Doctor's Best is like an actual pill and Zhou is like powder inside of a capsule. So I feel like that it's packs more of a punch. Plus you get more per pill than you do in the Doctor's Best, which if you don't like swallowing pills is a plus. Let's see. And how much water do I drink a day? 60 to 80 ounces only. I drink to thirst. I don't really keep track. I do drink a lot of diet soda. I probably shouldn't, but I do. So yeah, I don't really recommend large amounts of water on this way of eating unless you're willing to raise your sodium levels to even higher. Because the more water you drink, the more water you will flush. And when you flush water, your electrolytes go. So you need even more if you're going to drink a lot. So if you're drinking a gallon of water, 5,000 sodium is not going to cut it for you. What water I was referring to before was Soleil water. I have a video on how to make that. Check out my video in Mentor Monday's playlist on electrolytes, and it explains all about Soleil water. Hello from Japan. Wow, we have all over the world. That's amazing today. That's crazy. Let's see. Never mind. Winning. Any more questions? There's too many people just commenting lame stuff. What the heck are you even talking about, dude? You're like speaking some other language that we don't understand. I agree with some of the things you were saying, and other parts I'm kind of going, huh? What are you even talking about? So yeah, hey, whatever. Thank you. Yes, you don't want water if you're dehydrated. You want more salt. And people never believe me, but it's true. And I always tell them, just try it and come back. And they come back 3 days later and they say, oh my gosh, my lips aren't dry anymore, and I don't feel like I need to drink a gallon of water a day. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you don't need a gallon a day. So if you are on there's standard American diet, eating carbohydrate, but you're eating low calorie, you do need a huge amount of water because your body will retain water and need to be flushing out crap. On keto, you are already flushing and you don't want to make it worse. You need to keep your electrolytes in your body. So that is the reason why I don't recommend huge amounts of water, because you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. Just if you're feeling dehydrated, do raise your electrolytes up even higher. And don't drink more than 60 to 80 ounces a day. You really don't need it. All right. He says I'm doing what bodybuilders do. Interesting. I'm definitely not a bodybuilder, though someday in the future, you never know. No, I'm never doing that. But I might actually go to the gym and like get some more muscle. I mean, why not? It'd be fun. Yes, keto is very popular amongst bodybuilders, and the higher protein keto is definitely popular. Keto Gains is built on that. And so if you're looking to get big, go big in a good way, go to ketogains.com. They have all the info you need there, and they have a Facebook group. Yes, they are affiliated with the group that kicked me out, but I still love them anyway because their information is good. So if you're interested in that kind of information, you got to go there, because I don't know much about bodybuilding or exercise other than you can exercise fasting by eating sodium before you exercise. And that's pretty much all I know. What do I think would be too much diet soda? I don't know. I drink a lot of diet soda. I drink a lot of diet soda. I don't even want to tell you how much diet soda I drink. I probably drink... Oh my gosh, I don't even know. At least 2 big Cokes a day. Like the 2, like not 1 liters, but the one that's smaller than a 1 liter. I drink at least that, and then probably a Monster here and there, or a Bang here and there. Honestly, I don't really... Okay, there's a lot to be said about aspartame, and I know people are against aspartame, so I don't really want to talk about it. But the articles that I have read basically says that aspartame turns to methanol in the body, the same as tomato juice. And so it's really not harmful unless you drink so much. So honestly, if you love diet soda, I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking diet soda. Though, if you feel like you need to stop drinking diet soda, or if it's causing you to have cravings, don't do it. It's like a person by person thing. Me, like, I get no sleep, and keto gives me energy, but I need caffeine, and I can't drink coffee because of my religion, so I tend to drink diet soda. I probably shouldn't even drink Monsters, because the guy who was like the Monster rep, like some snowboarder guy, he was Mormon, and he like quit the company because apparently their like symbols mean Satan stuff or something. Plus the caffeine is high. I don't know why he did that. I still drink them, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for anybody that thinks that I'm like terrible for drinking soda, but everybody has their things, you know. They're not perfect. Anyway, so what do I consider too much diet soda? there isn't too much. Drink what you want to drink. If it keeps you keto, if it's getting you off keto and making it harder for you, don't drink it. Okay. Danny NYQC. I've been on keto for 4 weeks. I've lost 9 pounds the first 2 weeks, water weight probably, but after that, almost nothing. Could it be holding on to water this long between ovulating and menstruating? Yes, you could be. I need the answer to a few questions. So I need to know, number 1, what type of keto are you doing? Are you doing high fat, low carb? Are you doing my keto from my Facebook group with the macros, the higher protein, moderate fat macros? What are your calories? And what electrolytes are you hitting? What numbers? If you don't know the answers to all of those, that's what you need to go into. We talked about it at the beginning of this video. In fact, that was the subject of the video. So you want to go back to the beginning if you missed the beginning and see what I had to say about all of that. But basically, double check everything that's going in your mouth. Track everything that's going in your mouth. Eat at a caloric deficit. If you're already eating at a caloric deficit, lower your fats a little bit more. Make sure you're hitting all of your electrolytes. 5,000 milligrams of sodium, 300 to 700 milligrams of magnesium, and a minimum of 1,000 milligrams of potassium, 1 to 3 to 500 from food, preferably, rather than supplements. If you're doing all of that perfectly, then it's probably just your cycle. Just be patient. So that's the best answer I can give you for that question. What do you suggest for headaches? Pretty sure my electrolytes are good, but I get headaches often. I can tell by the words pretty sure that it's probably an electrolytes problem. If you don't know the exact numbers you're hitting, if you're not tracking them and you're getting a minimum of 5,000 milligrams of sodium, it's sodium. If you're hitting 5,000 and you still have headaches, you probably need more. I need 8,000 milligrams to feel normal. That's to prevent muscle cramping, headaches. I get ocular migraines if I don't get it. I get weird keto flu symptoms. But especially if it's a headache in the T-zone, sodium. That's the answer. Diet soda is not worse than regular soda. How? Prove it. Where's the science? Post me a link. It's not true. It's actually not true. The only reason that diet soda is worse is because it can trigger a glycemic response in people who eat carbs, causing you to feel hungry and causing you to overeat. If you're keto, that doesn't happen, at least not for me. If it's spiking your insulin somehow or your blood sugar somehow and making you hungry and making you crave stuff, then don't drink it. But it doesn't do that to me. It's fine. Aspartame is fine. Sucralose is fine. It's all fine, people. It's fine. If it triggers you, causes you to want to eat more candy or sugar or whatever, then you shouldn't drink it. But regular soda is full of sugar. This is a keto channel. We can't eat sugar. We're allergic to it. We're intolerant of it. Our bodies cannot process it. Our bodies cannot use the energy from it. Thus, it is worse for us. Okay, there. My soapbox. Well, we're going 10 minutes over. I guess I won't feel guilty since we've gone early the last couple of times. Yeah, drink your Diet Dr. Pepper and be happy. Just be happy. Now we're going to argue paleo versus keto? Really? No. If you're carbohydrate intolerant, you can't eat paleo. You'll still gain weight. That's the honest and truth. Like, people that are doing keto are doing it because they can't lose weight any other way. They've tried every other thing, and that's because their bodies cannot process carbohydrate, be it stupid sweet potatoes or whatever, be it homegrown perfect organic. I can't eat that crap. It will make me fat. I don't want to be fat anymore. I cannot eat it. The way I eat keto, besides my diet soda, is generally paleo. Generally, because I do dairy. But whatever. Whole foods is better. Whole food keto is better. Organic food keto is better than regular food keto. But we got to do what makes you be able to sustain this. If you're eating paleo and losing weight and you look amazing and you can sustain that, freaking, that's awesome. I wish I could do that, but can't. Cannot. Let's see. Flavored water makes your weight stall, but okay with Diet Coke. That's probably because most flavored waters use sucralose and Diet Coke is aspartame. So you may just be sensitive to sucralose. So avoid Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi is sweetened with sucralose. You may not have known that. Also, a lot of these are sweetened with erythritol. I ought to double check this one because I really don't know for sure. Yeah, erythritol. But I think it might have sucralose. No, it does not. Erythritol. Monster. Erythritol does have a glycemic index of 1, but it is still one of the best sweeteners out there. It's awesome. How do I get all my potassium in food? Okay, so every meat has potassium. If you're doing the higher protein version, it's super easy because you're eating tons of meat. Green veggies, avocado, those all have potassium. If you are eating all of that and you're putting it in your tracker and your tracker still says you're low on potassium, double check your entries because you're probably not using USDA entries. You're probably using entries that are incorrect and don't have the potassium listed. It is extremely easy to eat 1,000 milligrams to 3,500 milligrams of potassium. I usually hit between 1,800 and 2,200. My bacon has quite a bit. That's why I eat my bacon every day. It's my potassium pill. Yummy. I love bacon. All right. Yep. If you're only getting 3,500 milligrams of sodium, then that's probably the headache problem. All right. Yeah. I mean, really, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with paleo. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with standard American diet. Like, I'm not saying keto is the only way, the one and true way of eating. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that if you're watching this channel because you're giant fat, you're probably carbohydrate intolerant. I was 374 freaking pounds. I don't want to be 374 pounds. Who does? Nobody. It's horrifying. You can't even wipe your own butt, people. It's horribly miserable to wipe your own butt when you're 374 pounds. Yeah. So to me, like, I gotta do what works for me. I'm not saying it's the best for every person. But if you've tried a lot of diets and they didn't work, keto will work for you because it's easy. It's easy. It's satiating. You can keep your caloric levels so low and your body never asks you for food. On paleo, you're still eating carbohydrate. If you're still eating carbohydrate, your body will still crave carbohydrate. So basically, when it burns through your glycogen, you will get hungry. The beauty of keto is when it burns through your fat stores, you freaking burn your fat stores on your body. When you burn your dietary fat, you just go to your body fat and your body doesn't ask you for food. You rarely get hungry. I mean, what time is it? It's like noon and I am not hungry. I haven't eaten anything today. The only thing I've taken is Soleil water. Oh, and my magnesium, I take 1 in the morning, and my ritual vitamin, which I take for whatever else is in it, mostly for vitamin D. So I'm not hungry. Yeah. So anyway, I guess, is that all the questions? Do I use flaxseed? No, I don't. I don't really use flaxseed, almond meal, coconut flowers. I don't really use any of that stuff. If I'm having like a special occasion and I want to make something different, then I would. There's nothing wrong with using flaxseed if you track it, but I personally don't. Oh, hey, look, my sister is here. Angie. Have you been here the whole time when I'm talking about you? I was totally talking about you earlier. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So wild cherry Pepsi has aspartame, but only regular Diet Pepsi has sucralose. You quit because you wanted to drink less aspartame, and you're mad because you should have just stuck with your precious Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I can send you the articles if you want on why aspartame is totally fine. Like, there's just no real science that proves that aspartame in the doses that normal people consume is dangerous in any way. And it isn't any more man-made than sucralose. They're both man-made sweeteners. They're not natural. Erythritol and xylitol, those come from a plant, and stevia. And so that's why those ones are better because they're more natural, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the man-made sweeteners are bad. It's just that they're non-nutritive. They have no benefit to you other than tasting sweet. That's all. Let's see. So Dr. Pepper is the safest? No. No? I don't know. What, the safest? Safest how? What does that even mean? It just means she should have stuck with the one she likes the taste of better. Okay. Tiffany's husband is now joining her on keto to remove diabetes from his life. Woohoo! It will cure your type 2 diabetes. It will. Especially if you do the higher protein version. Don't forget about higher blood sugars on it. Definitely check out Verta Health. In fact, I don't know how much he charges, but Dr. Finney actually does personal coaching through an app for people with type 2 diabetes, and that is actually what he developed his whole way of eating for, is to cure it. It's his goal. So if you want to check out his info, he has the best info on how to cure type 2 diabetes. How to stop hunger cravings. If you're on keto, eat salt. That's your answer. Pretty much eat salt is the answer to every question. I'm miserable. Yep, eat salt. I have a headache. Eat salt. I have muscle cramps. Eat salt. I'm constipated. Eat salt. I'm hungry. Eat salt. Seriously, not kidding. Salt. Need more. If you're already doing the higher protein version, definitely it's salt. If you're already doing the higher protein version, you should not be hungry. If you're doing the higher fat version and you're not getting enough protein, your body that could be the problem. I would say eat more fat, but you'll burn less fat, and I can't give that advice. So if you're eating the higher fat version, I would raise your protein and lower your fats. It's not going to hurt you. It's still keto, and you'll just get the fat you need from your body. All right. We're at like an hour 20, but I told you if I drink a Monster that I can't stop talking. So if you have another question, I'll answer it. But otherwise, it's probably time to say goodbye. I probably should, go see if my kids have killed each other. If anyone has fed the 2-year-old, he hasn't come back, so maybe. Though I hear someone laughing and screaming in the hall. I think that's my 5-year-old, though. All right. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Now you're going to start asking me stuff? Okay. Dang it. Okay. I'll have to answer you. What about high blood glucose when eating higher protein? It's a non-issue. How high are we talking? Is your blood glucose still under 120? Like, dude, it doesn't matter. The only reason that blood glucose is an issue is because it means that your body isn't not converting it to energy, and you're not transporting it into your muscles, and so then your body might pack it on as extra. But unless you're like a very high amount of blood sugar, it's a non-issue. If you will ask Dr. Finney, he will tell you it's a non-issue. But if you're personally being coached by him, he will probably tell you to lower your protein a bit if it is causing you to have a blood sugar raise. I'm not a doctor. I cannot tell you the answer to that, but I do know that the higher protein version works for even type 2 diabetics. So, and the man who is saying that salt makes bloating, dude, trust me. Look into my eyes. Salt does not make bloating. Salt only makes bloating if you don't have enough. Eat more. Eat more for at least a week. Take a lot. Let's see. You're in India. I'm trying to decide if you're understanding everything that I'm saying or not. Exactly. And I've actually been to India. My daughter is actually from India. I have adopted her from there. So I know a little bit about India. So I'm guessing you can measure out salt. I'm hoping you have a food scale. If you can measure out salt on a food scale, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, of most sea salts, has about 400 milligrams of sodium. So you're going to want, help me do the math here, 11 1/4 teaspoons. So about 1 teaspoon, 1.1, 1.1 1/4. Is that right? That seems so low of salt a day. That's a lot of salt, I think. Oh my gosh, my math is bad in my brain. So yeah, man from India, Subham Shri, trust me, if you'll eat a large amount of salt, 5,000 milligrams of sodium, and track it for at least a week, the bloating will go away and you won't be hungry anymore. If you're doing keto the right way. Join my Facebook group and get the information in there that you can read out and have with you if you haven't done that already. But yeah, if you're trying to do keto and you're not supplementing sodium, that is why you're miserable. I don't do bone broth just because I have to make that or find it, or I don't know. I just don't. But there's nothing wrong with it. Anytime you eat more protein, your glucose spikes. What I was saying though before, how high is it spiking? What are we talking about? What time of day? Go over to the Verta Health blog and check out and see if he has information about that. I think in his protein article, he might have information about that. But he works with type 2 diabetics every single day. So to me, it's a non-issue unless it's a dangerous spike. As in, 200 or more. If it's less than 120, that's a normal glucose. That's why you be better eating salty chips. Don't eat salty chips. Chips have carbs. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat carbs. Bad. Bad for you. Okay, so Ray, you are at a plateau. So you need to go back, when I'm done with this video, you need to go back and watch it from the beginning, because we talked about that at the beginning, and I gave you all my tips and tricks on how to get out of a plateau. And join my Facebook group so that we can help you over there too. It's Keto Chaos. But yeah, 74 pounds is awesome. That last 30 is going to be harder. You're probably going to need to know your actual body fat percentage and use Ketogains macros is probably what you're going to need to do. But I talked about that at the beginning. Have I seen the high sodium affect people with high blood pressure? No and yes. I had high blood pressure at the beginning, 175 over 94, 95 most every day. I was refusing medication because I was breastfeeding and it interfered with that and I didn't like it. And I did the high sodium from day one on keto, and it never affected my blood pressure, and in 3 months it started going down on its own. Most people are going lower, and they're going off their blood pressure meds, the people that I know. One person on my Facebook group claims that the higher sodium is causing her blood pressure issues, but she has been taking the higher sodium for 3 months, and the blood pressure thing is new. So I don't think so. Read Dr. Finney's article on Verta Health blog. He talks about that, and he talks about why it is a non-issue and why the link between blood pressure and sodium is tenuous at best, and is not 100% proven, and is mostly anecdotal. Yes, it can affect some people. If it's affecting you, you should lower your amount. Try 2 grams a day, 2,000 milligrams. Try 3,000 milligrams. Find your sweet spot. The spot where you don't retain water, where you don't have headaches, where you feel energy, where you feel good, and you don't have muscle cramping, you don't have constipation, and you also don't have high blood pressure. You just have, if you are having problems, then you have to do that. If that doesn't work, you're going to have to switch to supplementing potassium instead of sodium. And that is always an option. You do need a high level, 4,000 plus of potassium. I do not condone it. I feel like that's dangerous, but if it's a blood pressure issue, you might have to do that and swap them. They can be swapped. All right. You eat more salt than me? I thought I was like the queen. I eat 8,000 milligrams on top of food. So usually 11,000, 12,000 milligrams a day of salt. Dr. Finney doesn't recommend going that high, just so you know. He recommends 5,000 as like a cap, but I just find that I can't do only 5,000 and feel happy. Okay. Danae Goliath says she has higher functioning Asperger's and keto has helped her so much. Her brain is running like it got a tune-up. Woohoo! That's fantastic. Yay! Yes, that is actually one of the benefits to me as well. I don't have Asperger's, but I did have severe depression, and starting keto, I literally felt like I woke up from a bad dream and I just came out of a fog and my brain could just think clearly. Never been able to think as clearly in my life, though my math still sucks. And I homeschool. Luckily, there's programs for that. Is McCormick safe? I don't know. I don't use it. You have to read the labels or look it up online. Let's see. Broth has carbs. Yeah. Iodized salt is the bomb. Okay, that's totally got to be a troll post. Dude. It's bad troll post too. Oh wait, maybe I could get you going on that. You're right. Iodine. What do we do about iodine? I get asked that all the time. And you know what? I asked Dr. Finney about iodine, and this was his reaction. Huh. Really? It's like a non-issue as well. He's like, sea salt has iodine in it. Take a multivitamin. Obviously, iodine is not as much of a concern as we thought. It's also gross and it tastes nasty, so I know that has to be a troll comment. All right, you guys, I've been doing this for an hour and a half, so I really got to go. And I got to let people get back to the beginning because they all want to know the secrets to getting past a plateau, and that's at the beginning of the video. So it's time for me to say goodbye. I love you all, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Nona, if you made it this far, you freaking deserve a medal, girly. A medal. You can put a medal in your post with a little emoji. I love you all guys so much. I appreciate your support and I don't know, all that stuff. That's all I have for you. I'll talk to you again soon.